All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Gen716 back here again. I apologize for the really late upload, but that Wildcats game put me to bed. It put me to sleep, and I literally just woke up. So I apologize for the late upload. But want to talk to you guys. Want to quickly recap real quick a couple of the XFL games. The first game I'm going to talk to you guys real quick is the Seattle BattleHawks going against the New York Guardians. And I am a Guardians fan. Again, I chose the Guardians because I live in Buffalo, New York. So of course the New York Guardians is closest to me. So I decided to go with the Guardians. But another disappointing showing by the New York Guardians. Another disappointment by the New York Guardians. Right after the first win, right, New York was hyped, especially because the New York sports teams are not really good. Besides the Yankees. And so a lot of people thought that the Guardians would be, hey, it will be a new breath of fresh air. Maybe it can, again, you're in the New York market. You're one of arguably the largest market, maybe in the United States. Who knows? Maybe New York, maybe the Guardians can make it big, and maybe give New York fans hope, especially in the especially because they need it. Especially 'cause the Giants, Jets, they're not really doing anything. So maybe the Guardians can be that football team that that New York, New Jersey, or whatever, or if you're living in the state of New York, could need. But Jesus, I mean, the Guardians got absolutely whooped. They got absolutely they got whipped. They couldn't do anything offensively. Special team mistakes, and the defense got worn out and tired. I mean, that was pretty much the entire story. You know, uh, you look at the St. Louis Battlehawks and what they did right. They did, again, they capitalized off the mistakes that the special teams unit for the New York Guardians gave. Offensively, they just pounded the rock and they moved the ball efficiently through the air. Again, they didn't need 300 or 400 passing yards. They only had, I think, like, what, 140 or 50 passing yards this game, but they were efficient. Jordan Tiamu had completed, I think, more than 65% of his throws. He made, again, he had that awesome play where the one Guardian defender had him in a sack, but he was calm under duress with the dude literally hanging from his leg and threw an accurate pass, which was a 10, 11 yard gain. That was pretty much the entire day, man. The St. Louis Battlehawks crowd was absolutely amazing. I think a solid 30,000 fans were there. I know it was almost sold out, right? Like literally from the front, from those second rows were completely filled up, right? The top rows weren't, but the crowd, the environment was definitely there. So again, you look at the Seattle, the Seattle Dragons. You look at the St. Louis Battlehawks. We've had two of these games now where the crowds were absolutely packed. The crowds were absolutely loaded. So that's really good to see overall as far as just crowd attendance goes. Um, but just overall wise, man, this game, for at least as a Guardians fan perspective, it was just really bad, just really bad. Matt McGloin has to get benched. He doesn't bring the energy for the team. Matt McGloin has to get benched. You need to rotate, whether if it's Garcia or whether if it's Williams. One of those two quarterbacks is gonna have to get the nod, man, because he can't do it, man. Matt McGloin is not good. He's not a good quarterback. And I really wanted him benched since last week when he started complaining, really blaming the coaching. I mean, who does that on live television? I mean, that's just ridiculous. But he needs to get benched. I think you need new life. You need a brush. You need just a fresh. I'm sorry. My emotions, my Guardian fan emotions are really getting in the way of this, but just an embarrassing win. If you are a Guardians fan, but again, if you're a St. Louis Battlehawks fan, you got to be proud with the effort that your team gave. You got to be proud of the fans, man. The fans were amazing there, as far as just the attendance goes. ESPN once again did a horrible job in this thing. I just don't like ESPN with the constant interviews and just how the way that they do things, especially with the XFL games. I just don't like it. I think Fox does a better job of balancing the interviews, and it's just so once again ESPN I think messed up on that. The St. Louis Battlehawks, man, based off what we saw from the DC Defenders, based off what we saw from the Houston Roughnecks, the St. Louis Battlehawks they haven't had a bad game yet. As far as and what I mean by that is that they've only lost to the Houston Roughnecks, which you can make an argument is the best team in the XFL. Besides that, they've really dominated the competition that they should be dominating, right? We saw the DC Defenders. They kind of got exposed today against LA. So really, again, the top two teams are the Houston Roughnecks and the St. Louis BattleHawks for what we've seen before. Again, I can't wait for St. Louis to battle DC. I can't wait for St. Louis to really battle, get that rematch against the Houston Roughnecks. I think at this point, I think Jordan Tiamo has exerted himself as being a top two quarterback, at least right now in the XFL. And I think that he gives himself an opportunity to get a potential NFL contract or at least a tryout next year. I think he definitely deserves that. There were some other notable players that definitely did their thing today. I know that Matt Jones had close to 100 yards this game. I know he was balling. I really love the effort from the offensive line. Defensively, they stuffed the Guardians' run game pretty much up until the fourth quarter, where the game was pretty much over at that point. We also got our first kick return touchdown of the day. That's one thing about it, too. We also got our first kick return touchdown. It was an awesome play by the St. Louis BattleHawks of doing that little reverse, and he was off to the races, and it was a really, really awesome return. I love the kickoff rules a lot. I think it's entertaining, and you're going to see more plays like that featured for the incoming week. So really love. So again, not the greatest game in the world. Again, the Saturday games were a lot better, but we did see a showcasing of St. Louis being potentially one of the best teams in the league, and we also saw that the St. Louis fans really, really love the XFL. They really love their teams. Again, it was almost a packed audience. The atmosphere, the crowd, the crowd noise, the crowd level was absolutely amazing. And I think that I was about to say the Seattle Dragons. The St. Louis BattleHawks fans should definitely give themselves a round of applause for the effort that they gave tonight. Guardians fans, they're gonna have to regroup, and they're gonna have to figure out a way how they can try to get back on that winning track. It's not going to get any easier from here. They're going to have to figure out a way to score more than 10 points in a football game. And if they can do that, who knows where the Guardians can go. So anyway, guys, I'll be back with another video really, really shortly. This is Gen 716. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.